Roll film. Hello, what I know. I'm Codex the Artissassin, and I am back. And this time we're going to be doing a drawing tutorial. Now, most drawing tutorials I see, especially when it comes with kids, is that we do really simple shapes. I like that approach sometimes, but the real problem is this. When kids want to draw, they, of course, want to learn how to draw, and to learn how to draw means you also got to learn how to sketch. Granted, yes, it's difficult for a 5-year-old to sketch. It's difficult for most ages underneath a particular age to sketch. But here I have with me one of my students. We will call her Miss V. Hello, Miss V.
Hello.
How old are you?
I'm 11.
Yeah. She is a good age to learn to sketch. So, Miss V, who are we going to draw today?
Sakamoto.
What do you know his full name?
Taro Sakamoto.
Taro Sakamoto.
Taro Sakamoto.
Taro Sakamoto. Alrighty, so together we'll be sketching Taro Sakamoto from Sakamoto Days. Now, what I personally enjoy about the Sakamoto Days show is that when you look at the anime, it's like family friendly-ish. I wouldn't exactly say it's perfect for little children to watch, especially because there's some curses, and of course we do not want children learning swear words before they understand what's right and wrong. But let me see, to be or to
Not to be.
not to be. How dare you quote that? I'm joking. We'll do HB. HB is the common pencil most people have. You also have an HB, so we'll be on even ground, even footing. This little paper has a little bit of weird stuff on it.
I think this is an HB.
Alright, that is an HB. All common pencils that you mostly get from stores or stationary places are going to be HB. So B2 is for soft, and H2 would be for a harder texture. So as you can see here, when you shade with it, it's more neutral. If you had a 2H, it'd be actually harder to push down. So when you push it down, it would become darker.
Okay.
But if I push down evenly like this, though I'm pushing a little bit harder, that would be a 2B. So each one has a different variation and gradation that can go down to a darker color. Alright, so besides the little pencil tutorial there, let's get started. Alright, so as I said, we're going to be sketching mostly. Alright, so the position we have Taro Sakamoto is his signature one where, whether he's in his big or skinny form, he has his arm over his shoulder and his head slightly tilted upward. Alright, so I would say she's semi-intermediate. She's a very skilled artist in my opinion. One of my best students by far, and she's done a lot of self-research herself. But today I will be evaluating her skills. Alright, so let's begin. Sakamoto is a big guy. By big guy, I mean that, he's fat. Alright, there's no political correctness around that, he's fat. So we'll start with a circle, because all pudgy guys are circular. I should know about being pudgy.
I'm ready to do a perfect circle on that.
Don't worry about doing a perfect circle, buddy. So remember, his face is a bit of an oval. Kind of like a really chubby Pikachu face from the old days.
Yeah.
Alright, so remember though, his face is not only up, but slightly to the side. So look right here. We're going to take a line from, not from the middle, but a little bit away from it. And we're going to
And from there?
do it from there. That's going to be where the chin will be. Right? You want it nice and smooth. Don't push too hard, but don't be too light where you can't see it. Alright? Now we're going to finish the rest of the chin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go a little bit out from the circle and then make it a nice big, kind of like a plumpy oval. Very plumpy oval. Alright, close enough. Again, we're practicing. The wonderful thing about sketching, especially when you're drawing a character for the first time, is that it won't look the best at first. Unless if you have practice drawing similar characters. But this is our first time together drawing Sakamoto.
My first time drawing
For
him.
me, drawing Sakamoto on paper, this is my first time because there's a big difference when it comes to drawing digitally and drawing with a physical mediums. Because when you draw digitally, you have tools that you can use. So let's get back to focusing on drawing Sakamoto. So right about here, we did the face, right? So remember, since he's still chubby, the neck, instead of being this cylinder thing, it would actually be more wider because of how big he is. So what I'm going to do here is where the fat would connect is where I'm going to do the neck, and then kind of like that. Because that's where it's going to bunch up a bit. Alright?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to take a line and I'm going to do it across from here like that. Remember to draw lightly. Alright, so this is where everything gets interesting. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
So as for the torso, since he is cracking his arm, he is leaning one side up and one side is up, right? So one side up, one side down. This line here will help us make sure we don't overdo it. So right about here is where I want the shoulder. So draw a circular, like a little bit of a circular oval. Not too big, not too small. Then under here, we're going to do, so on this line, we're going to put it right in the middle, the circular oval.
Also a little more thin in the middle.
No, it's fine. It's all practice right now. Alright? So then we're doing the torso. The torso, like I said, this is a big guy we're looking at. So we're going to go straight down like that.
Comes a little more in than usual.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Right here is actually good. And same thing here, you want to do that. So keep going down, you want the lines to be even. Remember that we're drawing the outside of the body, we'll be drawing the clothing eventually, but the clothing always comes last. Alright, so right here, I'm going to add a circular bottom to those two lines we added. Because remember, we're not trying to make him too box-like, we want him to have that fudgy edge.
He's between the
You're
fatness.
yeah, he's between it. That's not bad at all. Alright, so as you can see, I'm gonna slope it in a little bit to make sure it meshes well. Alright. Now I would say erase the little circles we have now that the shape's in place, but we don't want to do that just yet. Alright. Alright, so now we're going to do the arms. Now this is where everything's very interesting. So we're going to use lines this time. So the one arm hangs off to the side of his body. So look here, I'm going to teach you a little trick. The arm to elbow will usually be somewhere by the side of the body. So you're going to take your fingers from where it's going to be and where the side of the torso is. You're going to bring it out like that. And from here, you're going to draw as best as you can a line. Even if it's really faint and you can't see it, that'll help you out. And then once you do that, you will draw a circle at the end of where you brought that line. I'd bring it down. You see here, the torso is here, so I'd bring it about here. Draw a little circle, please.
Right here?
Right about here. Good job. Alright. And for the other part would be from the elbow to the thigh. The thigh would be somewhere about here, so we don't want to go too far. Kind of like that. The thigh. And a circle again.
Okay.
Keep going, buddy. Alright, so next up is going to be the arm. Now the arm is actually across his body. We're going to have to do a little bit of foreshortening, but right now that's the least of our worries. So the elbow is going to be about, so to make sure everything stays proportionate. Remember what I said about the finger to the side?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna bring it down a little bit because remember he's turning the upper shoulder is up a bit, right? The shoulder's up a bit, the shoulder's somewhere in the middle. So I'm gonna bring it down a little bit. And the shoulder is going to be the elbow is going to be underneath this part of his chin. So I'm gonna drag my fingers, making sure they stay where they're supposed to be. And this is where the elbow is going to be. I'll bring it up just a little bit because we're gonna have to do some angling and foreshortening. So right about here. Alright, and before we continue with the rest of the arm, what I want to do to help you out is this. So later in the drawing will be the thumb and the finger that's you're going to see here. Mm-hmm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this line right across. And then the rest of the fingers are going to be over here. So this little gap is going to be fingers, thumb and fingers. And then this is where the fingers are going to be. So I want to slope the fingers like this. And we're going to create this wonky looking shape.
Kind of like a base.
Yes, kind of like a base for home plate in baseball. Exactly. So, yeah, exactly like that. You're going to create that. I would make it a little more slumped this way, though. Because remember, he's holding his shoulder. And then add a little thing like that. So that way you remember that thumb and fingers. Alright, so now we'll connect it. So, right about here, I'll add a circle. Because remember, there's the wrist and then there's the hand. And then, boom. Alright. Quick tea break. Oh, yeah, that's some good tea. Alright. Tea break over. You ready? Mm-hmm. So, before we start attaching the arms, we gotta get the legs done. So right about here, I'm gonna add an oval underneath. Right. I would have made it a little bit, so, see you brought in the torso a little bit too much. This is where the fat would actually be. You see why now we have the oval? Because the thing was, is if he was a skinny guy, it'd be a smaller box. This would be the oval where the legs attach. Usually we'd add a line across for the torso. Since he's so big, I don't want to do it just yet. Alright, so make a little pudgy underneath. Exactly. This oval would have been where the hips connect. But remember, belly fat sometimes hangs over. So this was kind of where it'd be hanging over.
I'm actually going to fix this part of the side so it kind
Go ahead, I'll wait. The thing with sketching is it's usually never a super fast process unless if you know what you're doing. But if you're learning something for the first time, it's better to take it slow than it is to be fast. Look, at times people want to walk. First people want to run before they can walk. But let's face it, that didn't exactly help Iron Man and Iron Man 2. Alright, so you know where we made that little oval-like beam? Mm-hmm. So right here, we're going to add 2 circles. Alrighty. It's fine if the circles are a bit off. Next up, we're going to be legs. So one leg is straight and the other leg is slightly bent. We're going to work on the straight leg. So, as I've said for the arms are usually the length. The leg is usually the length of the arm and head. So, what we're going to do here is, since his head is so huge, imagine that right here is where the head is going to be, and then what we're going to do is head, elbow. We're going to go a little bit above the elbow, and that is where the first leg will be. So on this side will be the straight leg.
Kind of like that?
Kind of like that. So remember how I went a little bit above the elbow when we did that?
Yeah.
So now that I did that, I can now copy this and do the same thing down there. because now they're going to be the exact length I want it to be. Now the thing is with this leg, it's going to be a little bit bent. So now that we have our main leg, the leg that is the correct size, we're going to go here, we're going to copy this, and we're going to bring it over here. We're going to slightly have it come out a little bit.
But a little smaller than this one, because it's bended.
Not yet. The smaller part is actually going to be when his leg turns in. That's why we're first bringing it out a little bit to have it about this size. And then, once you're done with that, we're going to make it slightly shorter, but turning it inward like that.
Push it from the outside and forward.
Like I said, don't worry about it. Take your time. Good job. Alright, now comes what I always find as the difficult part, which would be the connecting the limbs. So let's start with the hardest part, which would be the arm. So with this arm, like I said, it's going to involve a little bit of foreshortening. So since it does involve foreshortening, we'll focus on the front of the arm and then connecting it to that arm. So remember where I told you to put that little circle?
Yeah.
Okay. So that circle, you're going to connect, and it's going to follow its lead over to this arm. Alright, almost as if you're making a, the word's not perpendicular, you're making a wide on one side, small on the other side cylinder. You see how it kind of looks like a cylinder now?
Mm-hmm.
Cool, right? I've always said this, though a lot of people, those who aren't experienced with art don't really believe it. A lot of drawing involves you putting shapes together. Alright, next up is going to be the arm, which we're going to involve the same principle, which is connect it to the ball. It's fine if you do it like that. I actually like it that you did it like that. Good job. Alright, so we're going to fix up the hand soon, but right now we got to connect all the shapes. So like I said, we'll do the same thing with the arm that we did before. I'm going to make my circles a little bit wider. Alright, and we're going to connect it to this one as well. Alright, we're going to do the same thing with this leg. Alright, this one's going to be a little bit different. You ready? So we first connect it as we did here.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, and then we're going to curl it a little bit. We don't want it to be too big. It's actually going to look a little bit narrower since it's down here. I'm actually going to widen it out a little bit because this is a fat man. Alright, though his legs seem a bit small for his giant torso, his clothing is also very baggy. Alright, so now we're going to do we're going to do this for this hand. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
So his hand is slightly turned, so we're going to add a line here, and then we're going to narrow it out about here. See what I did? I made a perpendicular shape, a square. So almost as if you're making a square, but instead of both sides...
Triangle.
No, that's not a triangle, buddy. A triangle is this.
Alright, so a square is like, yeah, and then you just turn it in.
I forgot the name. Rhombus? I think it's like a rhombus. Kind of like a rhombus. If it looks like a rhombus, acts like a rhombus, it might be a rhombus. Alright, so look right here. I'll do a shape on the side to show you. So we're going to go down, inwards, and connect it. Kind of like that. That's what you're going to do for over here.
Kind of doing it.
Good. So now we're going to do add where the shape of the thumb. So right now, I'm going to do a line right here, and after I do that line, I'm going to create a sideways or crooked rectangle.
You know, it kind of looks like the puppet paper puppet.
A little bit, but okay. So draw the little rectangle, please.
It kind of like.
All right, we'll get to the rest of the hand soon. Now we're going to do his feet. So, usually I would tell you to do a triangle and then a small rectangle at the bottom, but since his feet are more rounded, what we're going to do here is, right here, we're going to do an oval. A wide looking oval.
This is my widest shape.
Remember that the shape of the leg is bending inwards, so we want to take the foot and bend it a little bit, bend it outwards. So inwards, outwards, almost as if we're making a Z or a zigzag. Because a Z is
Like that.
a little bit like that. And for the foot, what we're going to do is this. So look right here. I'm going to create a dome. And then underneath is going to be flat.
Because he's flip-flop?
Because of his flip-flop, yes. We'll be adjusting the size soon, but right now I want to have something to work with for the foot.
And then comes in. Wait, my flip-flop is a little bigger than the other shoe.
Don't worry about it, buddy. It's a nice day for some tea.
And then some.
Alrighty. Good job. I'm going to take my clay eraser and lighten things up a bit.
Are you going on the circle box?
Sort of. Since I'm keeping it big, I'm having it like that. Alrighty, so, little apprentice. What shall we do now? I know, let's finish the hand. So, remember how we added those shapes?
Mm-hmm.
So now we're going to go a little bit down, and his finger curls out to here. See the shapes I'm added?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to fine tune them soon. Kind of like that. And then we're going to add one more ridge here. That would be where the second finger is located. Alright, so now I am going to fix it up a bit. So here like that, and then see how it's now looking more like a finger? Oh yeah, hold on. Here, I'll switch to mechanical pencil. Alrighty, like that, finger like that. Oh no! Like that. The wrist is going to bulk out here, and then we're going to smooth it outward like that. You see?
Mm-hmm.
As for the thumb, right where we created that rectangle, we're going to add one more bump here, and then we're going to round it out. And his hand is going to be like this. Good job, we completed our hand. And the nail is here. I usually don't like to draw nails because some detail goes into them. See the little bumps I made?
Yeah.
Don't worry if it doesn't look right, because this is all practice. We're going to get better over time, and then we're going to try again one day. And do it even better. Even better. Alright. So, ready to
kind of like a gorilla hand on this.
Don't worry about it. So, You're almost there, buddy? Good job. Okay, so before we complete the rest of the way up, we want to establish where the shirt's going to be first, because the body covers up the arm a bit. So right about here, we're going to go out a bit for the shirt. And then it's going to bounce down all the way down. Like that. All the way down. To here. Alright. We're going to add one. Go across it like that. Back up a bit.
Is that supposed to be the stomach?
It's going to be where his shirt is, buddy. Remember, the shirt hangs off his body. Right now it looks rough, but once it's done, ooh, no, it'll start smoothing out. Alright, as for the shirt, it's going to curl in a little bit that way. And then it's going to bump back up. We're going to stop right here because I want to finish his sleeve. Sleeve? Sleeve! So we're going to stop right about here. Alright, let's go back to finishing it. Ooh, my brain. Let's go back to finishing this up. So right about here, where we have that line, we're going to make an angular little line. Almost like we're making a check mark, but without the wee part. Alright? And then we're going to angle it up a bit. We're not going to complete it yet. Now we're going to finish the arm. So I'm going to go a little bit further from the line we created, once you're ready. A little bit further. And here, down.
Here and down.
Inward, buddy. So you do a little line, inward.
Like that?
Like that. And then from the outside here is when we're going to connect the little hand that we made. On his arms, there's still muscle, so that's the muscle we're creating. Alrighty. Next, we're going to do something a bit similar. So we're going to go curl in a little bit where the hand is. Go out a little bit, and then we're going to go, ooh, not like that. We're going to go inward.
Mine hand kind of goes in where your short is.
No, but it's fine. Like I said, this is a sketch. We're practicing, and when we practice, we get better. So, kind of like that. What I enjoy about the Sakamoto art style is that it's not exactly the most prettiest looking art style, but it serves its purpose because it's an action comic. You don't want to add too many details because then the guy the whole time will have to focus on the detail. That's a lot of work to do. Alright, so now we're going to focus on the hand that I talked about. So remember how I said that the thumb and the finger was going to be here?
Yep.
This is going to be the finger. It's going to pop out a little bit like that. And then the ridges, 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
But here, we're going to pull it back a little bit like that, and then since it's a bit pudgy, you make that little line right here, almost as if you're making a bent out S shape. All right. For the thumb, we're going to curl a little bit. And boom.
I need to make my thumb a little longer.
No, that's fine. Alright, so right about here is when we're going to bring in the arm a bit. So you see how it comes in like that? Alright. I'm going to adjust the arm a little bit. Doing that. Okay. So now we're going to come in here like that and bend it up a bit. Alright.
I think I have the shape.
You have it. Good job. Alright, we're going to go here and we're going to bend in the line for the elbow. I'm going to go up a bit here. Not too far. Alright. And then now we're going to finish the sleeve that encompasses the arm. So we're going to go out like this. We're making a half circle and it drags down. A little bit more. So this is probably where it's going to stop. Alright? Then we're going to bring it back just a little bit. Not to touch the arm yet. Alright, and this is where we finish it. So when we're going to drag it down and make it touch the line, and then it's going to go into his arm. If it doesn't touch the line, it's fine. We can fix that up. Alright, so now let's make sure the circle finishes and it touches. Now, as you can see, for those who can notice, the arm is a bit off on mine because I didn't get the proportions exactly right. But again, that's alright for now because this is a sketch we're practicing. Alright, so let's go to where the finger is out here and we'll finish by connecting the sleeve, which is going to go down and curve in to create a wrinkle in the shirt. Good job. Alright, next up we're going to finish the outside of the sleeve. So right about here where the circle is, we're going to curve down to connect the sleeve.
I should like to curve up.
You can curve up if you want, as long as you connect to where the circle is. I am going to fix it up a little bit, make it stick out a bit. Alrighty. And then now we're going to finish by connecting the shirt to the sleeve. Good job. So right now, where we created that line, I want to cut in a little bit.
Right here?
Yes, ma'am. Cut in a little bit, and then we're going to create a teeny tiny line. And that tiny line is going to go around, near close enough to the chin, but not exactly touching it. Back up to here. Around. See what it is there? Alright, and then I'm going to add the finishing touch, but kind of making it look a little more pronounced, as if it's the collar.
Right, connect the lines?
You don't need to connect the lines, buddy. Alright. Next up, we're going to finish Sakamoto's legs. So, like I said, his pants is baggy. Alright, so we're going to focus on the straight leg. And the straight leg is going to be... So, with wrinkles, it can be very complicated. I'm going to keep it very simple for beginners. What we're going to do here is this. We're going to go straight line down on both sides. And we're going to go make some space between legs. So we want a good distance away from the leg. So from the outside, you do that. Next up, you're going to create a line inwards like that.
Inwards.
Like that. You're going to go back out a little bit underneath the first line, and then zigzag, and you're going to bring it down again. Alright. Now we're going to take that line and we're going to bend it out just a little bit. We're going to create a small line again. Bring it back in. Then we're going to curl it. And it's going to be a little zigzag from here. So here, down, do. Kind of like that. Before we continue with the other side of the leg, I want to do the flip flop. So right where that line is that we just finished, we're going to create a small line like that. No, not small line. A line goes across the foot. All right. Underneath that line, we're going to draw another line similar to it, but not as big.
Not as big.
All right. With that line that we just created underneath, we're going to do an oval shape underneath. Like this. Yes, exactly. That's a sock. Alright, with the top line, we're going to bend it in a little bit. Bring it towards the side, bend it in a little bit. Underneath it, we're going to bring two small lines out. Create a side for it, and then again, I'm going to connect those two lines with a somewhat round shape. And you now have one of Sakamoto sandals. Not bad. I like how you made it a bit thicker than mine. Alright, so like I said, the pants is baggy. So right somewhere around the middle, we're going to create a line like this.
Yeah.
So a little bit here and then slash right there. Not too big. Now we're going to do this. Line like that. Line inwards. It can be a bit bigger. So this one won't follow the same contour as the last line. Down, curve there. And then there's going to be this weird little shape right here. Like that. So I'm going to add a little seam to the pant leg. So it's going to follow a little bit of the curvature of the line that we just did. It's called a seam. You might have seen them on your jeans. Sometimes they're embroidered. Ta-da! Like that.
Just connect it.
Good job. Now we're going to do the other side of Sakamoto's leg. Since we already got started on the outside, the inside of this leg, let's finish. So now you're going to go a little bit in like that. Bend it out a bit. Once you get to the knee-like area, curve it out, bend it back in. I'm going to add a little bit of a line that goes out, and what you're going to do now is curve it out.
Curve it out.
Exactly. So as for this part of the leg, we're going to follow a little bit of the outside because it would hug around the leg a little bit. But since it's jeans, jeans get lumpy. So we're going to add this little lump right here. What I did here, curve. Alright.
Cool.
Alright, now bring it in. See what I did there where it's a little more. It's got to look a little bit deeper. Good job. So we're going to go slightly above it. Go back down. We're going to curve again. And you're going to do this. Good job. So now we're going to finish. So the sandal, since the foot is turned in a little bit, we're going to go from here and here.
Here and here.
Now, you're going to do the, let's see if I can get my brain working. We're going to curve it in like that.
Like that.
Alright, we're going to go a little bit back up to here, and we're going to bring it down like that. Right where we did that curve, we're going to finish it off, bring it a little bit out and in like that. Alright, right where we started creating that curve, we're going to go around till it tucks into the foot. And then we just created the outside of the flip-flop. Alright, before we continue with the rest of the body, I want to finish up by erasing the inside lines. The sketch marks that basically we made. Here, that. See, the thing is this, with digital, as I said before, digital drawing, you have tools to change up the shape and do whatever you can, even make different layers. When it comes to sketching, you don't have those kind of tools. So sometimes when you become complacent on those tools, your skills with physical mediums dull. Alright.
My foot on the sticker has a problem.
It's fine, take your time.
He's a little skinny, but
It's perfectly fine. We're doing this for fun, not for competition, not because it needs to be perfect, it's for fun. Alright, so now that I cleared out the sketches, now I can finish up the pants a little bit by adding a line that goes up. Alright, and then we're going to add a seam line. So we're going to come out like that, and we're going to follow the contours a little bit. Like that. You saw what I did?
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be too close. Alright, so now we're going to move on to the final part. The coup de grace. His face. That pudgy, gigantic face. Alright, so you saw where we did the pudges for his face, right?
Mm-hmm.
So right where the neck is, we're going to go a little bit here. We're going to bring it in a little bit.
Kind of where the neck is, but
Remember, the neck fat also sticks out. Also back here, as you can see, I shortened out my
face.
the face of it, because we do see a little bit of the under part of his neck. Kinda like that. Alright.
I'm gonna make mine a little.
So remember how I said it's kind of like a Pikachu face where it's this bit and then kind of like curves out underneath?
Yeah.
Almost as if we were putting two ovals together.
Yep.
So it's going to bend out a little bit like this. Now we're going to do his ears. So right now you're going to go a little bit above, out, in, and down. And then you're going to curve it. You're going to do the same thing with this side. Curve it. I know I made his ears a little too big, so I'll adjust them a bit. Oh dear. Oh dear.
This one's big and this one's small. I feel like the small one should be big.
No, that one should be small because his face is turned slightly. So right here should be a bit smaller. Right here should be a bit bigger, but not too big. Alright, so once you get that done, we're going to go here. Almost as if we're making a little shape like that.
Like
You saw
an
it again?
S.
Exactly like an S. Alright, little shape like that, little shape that curves in. Alright, and we'll do the same thing on the other ear. Okay. Now we're going to do his eyes, or what I should say is his glasses. So from the ears that we created, we're going to create... that's not bad. We're going to take the line and curve it across his face. Make sure it's nice and soft, not hard. Because again, we have to get rid of it.
Like that.
Like that, exactly like that. Now we're going to do circles. So about here would be where the circles are going to be. Remember, we want them to have some distance because we gotta add a little bridge. Once you add that line you created, you can add a bridge like that. Alright, before we complete his glasses, let's finish up his face a bit. So right here, we're gonna add a little mark in like that for his hair. And then once you do that, around like that. Oh, pardon me. Create a small lunch, a little bit like an M. If not, so a little more like that. Saw what I did?
Mm-hmm. Kind of like that.
Kind of like that. So a little bit above the head, we're going to smooth it in and bring it behind here like that. A little bit like that. Now we're going to add lines because there's some lines in his hair, but we're not going to add too much. So I would have had 1 and 2 on the lower part, up, and curve them a little bit so they follow the contours of his head. See, now it looks more like his hair.
Orange ones.
You don't need to add too many lines. There's not a lot in them. Alright. Now we're going to add...
A mustache.
Not yet.
No.
So about here, we're going to add...
His nose?
Yeah, his nose. A small triangle up like that because his face is partially turned up.
I feel like the top of his nose is more round.
Remember, remember, his face is turned up. So, if you look at it flat, you're not going to really see it too much. But if he's turning his head up, you will see it. Okay, add a little bit of shade underneath the nose. Alright. Before we finish with the mustache, we're going to go right underneath the neck. And we're going to add a little bit of shade here, too.
I feel like when I'm sketching, I do the shade after so that I don't have to waste it.
I just want to mark where the nose. So right now we marked where the nose is. The nose is fine. Right? Add a little bit underneath, which is also fine, too. So you ready? Now we're going to finish up. We're going to curve the mustache like that. It isn't a big mustache. We're going to cut it off, curve it underneath again. And then we'll mark it with lines. Kind of like that. Alright.
Kind of reminds me of the guy who screams at Peter Parker.
Jake Jonah?
Yeah. His
Not
mustache.
Alright, so now the eyebrows. Here and down. And then you're going to go above the line like that. Kind of like that. Alright, now that we kind of finish that a bit, I'm going to shade in his glasses a little bit. Let me get rid of the little sketch lines that we made so that we can do that. I'm going to fix his glasses but make it more round. So this will be the freestyle part right now. Freestyle. Where we're going to fix up some of our shapes. Alright.
I'm erasing the lines I had before.
Alright, so I should add a line. Well, zigzag, force on that musculature. Musculature. That's the wonderful thing about sketching. Once you get the drawing done and you haven't inked it, you get to fix what you want to fix. Alright, so I'm very satisfied with my easy to draw Sakamoto for now. I might do another drawing eventually, probably a solo one on my own to improve. But right now, oh, I love it!
Is it miniature piece of board?
A miniature piece of board. It's adorable. You did very good though. Alright, so once you finish up a little bit, let's put it towards the center so the audience can see.
The nose kind of makes him look like a skeleton.
A little bit. Alright, so let's show the camera, because we're about done, right?
Yeah.
Alright, let's put it side by side. I love it! That was really good! Alright, so we have drawn the Taro Sakamoto from Sakamoto Days. For those who want to watch it, you can watch it off Netflix. For those who would read the manga, which I'd prefer you read the manga, you could either buy it off Kindle, buy a physical copy from Amazon, or go to Barnes & Nobles and pick it up yourselves. I'm quite certain that you can find it at the library too. So, now that we've... Oh, good job. You signed your own work. Oh no, it's not my thing. And then I always add the little... Alright, so... Goodbye, one and all. I hope you enjoyed this video with my partner today, Miss V. Say goodbye, Miss V.
Bye.
Alrighty.